streaming. Tonight, we are actually going to take a look at installing WSL2. Now, many of you have learned, I suspect, that you can install Windows Subsystem for Linux natively on your computer, on your Windows 10 system. Most likely in the process of doing that, you have installed WSL1. It's a Linux subsystem. It runs like a super fast virtual machine on your Windows 10 environment. Throw away putty. WSL will spoil you. You'll love it. I'm here to tell you that you might want to consider an upgrade. Let me tell you what happened personally to me. In installing Python, I wanted 3.9, and I wanted the latest version of Ansible. It took 45 minutes to install that on my Windows subsystem for Linux. I said, something is wrong. And Chad, how long did it take you to install?
Like 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. It was like
right through.
Something's wrong. You know, he's reminding me. Yeah, you're doing something wrong. I said, yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. Well, turns out that Windows Subsystem for Linux, because I was an early adopter of the thing, installs, actually, I'll read it straight from the horse's mouth, right straight from Microsoft. WSL1 is based on Microsoft's Linux compatible kernel interface, a compatibility translation layer with no Linux kernel. You've got to be kidding me. No wonder it goes so fast. There's like 150 function calls that you're required to actually connect to the BIOS, and Windows is doing all that translation. So let's read what we say about WSL2. It's redesigned with a Linux kernel running in a lightweight virtual machine environment, and innovators have found many more things that they can do with WSL2. My experience is it is blazing fast. I got the same experience that Chad did in the installation of wow, it was definitely less than a minute to install the software that took otherwise 45 minutes. Actually, let me, what?
It's a simulation versus a virtualization. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. It is because
simulation.
Because it doesn't get in the way of running VirtualBox or something. So they're not taking over the virtualization layer. It's pretty lightweight, but still it's a real Linux kernel this time. I'm sure you want to see it being installed. Let's take a look at it. So here we go, actually installing it, and it is pretty simple. Notice the timer on the top right corner there, so you can see how long this takes. So the first thing you want to do is type version. Most likely your version is not going to be that current. Mine sure wasn't. I was running an ancient version because I don't maintain the code that way. So into settings, and then let's go ahead and see what we got going in here. So under security, Windows Update, take a quick look at what's going on. Now, my updates are all in place. You're probably not going to be that lucky. So we're going to sit through a Microsoft Defender update here. You're probably going to do reboot, install, reboot, install, reboot, install. It's not going to be that easy. So the next step then is let's actually hop into PowerShell and take a look. What WSL are we actually running here? This is where Chad said, oh, I'm running WSL2. And I was like, what do you mean WSL2? That said WSL1 on my machine just 2 days ago. So that's actually good news for me, but most likely the rest of you are going to see WSL1 on that. You just got to get rid of it. Hop in as administrator, open up PowerShell. This is Windows Terminal. I'd like it a ton because you can do that. When you're teaching, you can zoom in just with a mouse wheel. It's really nice. So we have 2 installs to do, 2 PowerShell commandlets to pound in there. There's the first one. The next one takes a moment. Paste anyway. Yes. That's what this, it warns this every time you do installations into this Windows terminal. Now, that's actually all it takes. So right now I was just pounding in the URL for going and downloading an MSI. So we're going to see a little penguin pop up here in a minute. There he is. And that's how long it takes. I actually didn't speed that up. And now we have the Windows subsystem for Linux, the kernel component installed. So the next thing is, if you're going to teach or just use for presentation, why don't you consider renaming your device to something that's going to be short? Linux subsystem is going to adopt whatever name you have the PC. So if you have this really long, like Dell XYZ9 G722964321, get rid of it, replace it with something much more simpler. Students will greatly appreciate it. Next step is to actually go get the subsystem. So here comes WSL. It is this easy to install. Click, down it comes. I speeded this up a little bit so you can see it's 8 minutes, 49 seconds. Dropped a few seconds there. And obviously I haven't been talking that long with you, so I did chop some things out, but mostly just me just clicking on, taking too long to click on stuff. So even on the round trip, I don't think we're going to be into this 10 minutes of actual human time. So you want to log in this case, whatever username is. I'm going to put in sfeezer. In goes my password. And that's how long it takes. Now, you do the same thing with WSL1, but when you run WSL1, that process of login and password, it was at least 10 times slower. This is a magnitude faster. Chad, have you been using it much since?
I was using it as an environment to test some labs and build in some new stuff. Not since then, but I really did enjoy using it. It was fast. It was slick. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like WSL1. I've been using WSL1 for years, but I didn't realize what I was missing. This is massively better. Did we talk you into it, Zach?
Yeah, I think I'm going to uninstall what I currently have and try that. I still was running into that when I go in, I'm root when I go into the machine. So as long as I can fix that.
Yeah, okay. I had that exact same problem. That means probably some followers are going to have it as well. That WSL1 is so slow, and you're fast. You like lightning. You have to wait for that lethargic thing to get to the point that it builds everything, that it prompts you for the login and password. So if you hopped on it as soon as you saw the prompt, which I did as well, it stays root, and it seems like it breaks that macro or that script that sets it up in the first place.
Oh, that makes more sense then. Okay.
Yeah, get rid of it. As soon as I saw root, I thought, this is creeping me out. This has to go. And yeah, so at this stage of the game, I think I have ripped out WSL2 and reinstalled it 5 or 6 times now. At this point, just to see, there's a couple of reasons why, to see how fast I could get, and also in preparation for some of the other things that we're going to take a look at in subsequent episodes, how to set up the terminal, how to set up a practice environment, and actually how to write student labs using this platform. You can do it right there on the machine, on the road, wherever. It's really great.
Stu, do you have these instructions somewhere?
Hey, yeah, actually, they're on our GitHub environment right now, which we're going to push into our blog. So by sometime tomorrow afternoon, actually, in the YouTube notes will be the link that's going to actually point to the blog that's step by step exactly how to do this.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. I think we got it then, guys.
Thanks, Stu.
Yeah, thanks, Stu. Pretty easy.
Yeah, piece of cake. See you next time. Bye.
Yep. See you.
See you guys.